The crowd inside the America's Got Talent studio moved like a slow ocean, waves of whispers and soft excitement rolling from seat to seat. The lights above felt warm and gentle, casting a soft golden glow on the stage as people settled into their places. It was the kind of evening where the air felt calm but expectant, like everyone knew something special might happen, even if they didn't know what it was yet. Backstage, a 16-year-old Filipino boy named Leo Santos stood near the thick black curtains, gently rubbing his hands together. He wore a simple white jacket, dark pants, and old boots that had clearly traveled far. He wasn't dressed like a superstar. He didn't even feel like one. He only felt his heartbeat, firm and steady, echoing through his chest like quiet drums. Leo had dreamed of singing on this stage since he was a child. He had watched old videos of performers from a tiny internet shop in Manila. He had seen people chase their dreams here, and he had promised himself that one day he would try too. But now, standing backstage, hearing the distant buzz of the audience, that dream felt big, too big. The stage seemed too bright, too important, too overwhelming for a boy who grew up singing in small barangay community halls. A stagehand approached him with a gentle smile. "You're up next," she said softly, as if trying not to startle him. Leo nodded, swallowing hard. "Okay po. Okay. Thank you." He took one more deep breath. He thought of his mother back home, watching the broadcast through an old TV with fuzzy sides. He imagined her clasped hands, her whispered prayers. He imagined his neighbors gathered outside, the sound of plastic chairs scraping on concrete, kids shushing each other so they could hear him clearly. Leo closed his eyes for a moment. "Lord, help me do well," he whispered under his breath. When he opened his eyes again, the stagehand gave him the cue. The curtains shifted, the floor lights brightened, and Leo stepped forward, walking into the spotlight. The moment he appeared, the audience grew quiet, curious about the shy young figure standing in the center of the massive stage. The judges looked up from their seats. Simon Cowell leaned back slightly, adjusting his focus. Howie Mandel gave a small, encouraging smile. Sofia Vergara tilted her head with gentle interest. Heidi Klum folded her hands on her desk, her expression warm. "Hello," Simon said, his voice calm and steady. "Welcome to America's Got Talent. What's your name?" Leo cleared his throat softly, holding the microphone with both hands. "My name is Leo Santos. I'm from the Philippines." His accent was gentle, his voice young and soft. The crowd applauded politely at the mention of his home country. Leo lowered his head slightly, shy but thankful. "What are you going to sing for us today?" Simon asked. Leo hesitated, searching for the courage to speak the truth. "I will sing an Elvis Presley song." A ripple went through the audience. Some whispered, some leaned forward. Sophia raised her eyebrows with a playful smile. "Elvis. Wow, that's a big choice." Leo nodded. "Yes, ma'am. Elvis has been my hero since I was little." Simon blinked once, studying him. A Filipino teenager, slender and soft-spoken, choosing one of the most iconic voices in history. It was unexpected, maybe even risky. But Simon didn't discourage him. He simply gave a small nod and said, "All right. Good luck." The room turned quiet, so quiet that Leo could hear the soft hum of the stage lights. His heart thumped. His hands trembled. He closed his eyes again, just for a second, and remembered the sound of old Elvis recordings echoing from a tiny speaker in his childhood home. His father had played those songs every Sunday morning before work, letting the warm, nostalgic sound fill their small house. Leo lifted the microphone. The music began, and the moment he sang the first note, the entire atmosphere changed. His voice didn't come out timid or shaky. It came out rich, deep, and surprisingly smooth for someone so young. It was warm, full of emotion, with a natural echo that filled the room like gentle thunder. The audience gasped. Some sat up straighter. Others blinked as if they couldn't believe what they were hearing. Simon's eyes widened. The tone was unmistakable. Leo didn't sound like he was trying to imitate Elvis. He sounded like he had somehow captured the spirit, the soul, the unmistakable heart of that classic voice. It felt real. It felt alive. It felt like stepping back in time. Leo continued singing, his voice steady, raw, and filled with quiet fire. He let each note melt gently into the air. His body didn't move much, just small, natural motions, the kind Elvis himself used to make when he was young and unsure. But the emotion behind his voice flowed openly, reaching everyone in the room. Halfway through the performance, something unexpected happened. Leo's voice cracked, just a little, just enough to show his humanity. And instead of breaking the moment, it deepened it. It made him feel real, vulnerable, and sincere. It made the audience love him even more. He kept singing, letting that vulnerability become part of the performance. His eyes glimmered, as if memories were rising inside him. Long nights practicing alone, long bus rides to cheap singing competitions, long moments wondering if he would ever get a chance like this. The audience began cheering softly between lines. Shouts of encouragement echoed around the theater. That voice. Someone called. He sounds like a young Elvis. Another shouted. Sophia placed her hand over her heart. Heidi held her breath. Howie leaned forward, elbows on the desk, fully locked in. Simon didn't move at all. He just listened, eyes intense, jaw tight, as if he was witnessing something rare, something pure. As the final part of the song approached, Leo took a deep breath. He let the final note rise slowly, steady and strong, growing warmer and clearer as he held it for a long, beautiful moment. When the note ended, the whole room fell silent. Completely silent. And then, like a wave, everyone stood. The audience roared. People clapped, cheered, whistled, even wiped tears from their eyes. Leo looked stunned, his chest rising and falling quickly as he tried to catch his breath. He stared out at the sea of people, hardly believing that this moment was real. His hands shook. His eyes watered. He lowered the microphone slowly, almost afraid to break the magic that had just filled the room. Howie was the first to speak. Leo, I was not expecting that voice to come out of you. That was unbelievable. You didn't just sing an Elvis song, you brought something new and honest to it. I'm blown away. Heidi, nodding quickly, added, your voice touched my heart. There was so much soul in everything you sang. I loved it. Sophia leaned forward, her eyes glowing. You are special, Leo. You brought Elvis back, but in a very innocent and emotional way. I felt every word. Leo smiled nervously, his shoulders shaking slightly. He whispered, thank you so much. Finally, all eyes turned toward Simon. Simon didn't speak right away. He looked at Leo with a strange softness, a depth that wasn't always present during auditions. Something about this performance had reached him. Leo, Simon said slowly, I have been doing this show for a very long time. I've seen many Elvis tributes. But I have never, ever heard someone your age sing with that kind of maturity, warmth, and authenticity. You didn't copy Elvis. You honored him. And you turned your own story into the song. Leo felt warmth spread through his chest. His eyes began to water again. You know, Simon continued, sometimes, someone walks on this stage and reminds us why we love music in the first place. Tonight, you did that. The crowd cheered loudly, their voices echoing in the large room. Leo lowered his gaze, overwhelmed. And for that, Simon said, pushing his chair back. The audience started screaming before anything even happened. They knew what Simon was thinking. Leo looked up, confused, surprised, breath caught in his throat. Simon stood, placed his hands on the golden buzzer, and with a slow, meaningful nod, slammed it down. The entire stage exploded in golden light. Confetti burst from the ceiling, swirling around Leo like shimmering sunlit rain. The crowd screamed with joy, some people jumping, others wiping tears, others laughing and shouting his name. Leo froze, hands covering his mouth. His heartbeat seemed to stop and race at the same time. His knees gave out slightly, and he pressed a hand against his chest, overwhelmed with gratitude and disbelief. The golden confetti fell over him in gentle waves. The music played loudly, victorious and emotional. The stage felt like a dream, glowing bright and warm, as if the universe itself was telling him, you made it. You're here. Simon walked onto the stage, smiling genuinely, and pulled Leo into a reassuring hug. That was incredible, he said softly. You deserve this. Leo couldn't speak. Tears streamed down his face, mixing with the gold flakes that clung to his hair and jacket. The judges applauded. The audience kept cheering long after the confetti settled. And in that moment, Leo felt the world shift. For the first time in his life, he believed, truly believed, that his dream wasn't too big. That his voice had a place. That his story mattered. He had come as a humble boy from the Philippines. He left the stage as the newest golden buzzer. And somewhere across the ocean, in a small home filled with soft yellow light, his mother watched the screen with shaking hands, tears streaming down her cheeks, whispering, "Anik, you did it." Leo didn't know what the future would bring. He didn't know how far he would go, how big his journey would become. But as he stood there, covered in gold, smiling through his tears, he knew one thing for certain. This was only the beginning.